In the studios, joining me is Rosalind Asena. Her brother, she saw him for the first time in court with Pastor Mackenzie, believe it or not. Dr. Susan Gitau, a psychologist, she's trying to make sense, help us make sense of everything that's going on. Joining us live from Mombasa, Francis Wanje, and in Malindi is Betty Kahindi. We're going to try and get the sound from Francis. We're trying to work on that sound. Dr. Susan, the stories that we just heard just now, I mean, this is just harrowing. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's crazy. In 2023, happening under our noses. And some people saying, nobody knew. For 5, 6, 7, 8 years, this man was operating. Nobody knew. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm very happy that they are talking. And my prayer is that they will be protected, and especially that child. We always say you may not believe and adopt. No. But if a child says something, 100% you need to believe them. Yeah. So it's my prayer and hope that that child will be kept safe, protected. He will tell everything if the adult can hide to say some things. I'm also impressed with Betty and Francis and also Rosalind here because they are the ones who are going to help us unravel this mystery. And I also believe and trust that a lot of assessments will be done on Mackenzie. But you can also hear something. This community had a church, and that church died with the founder. So now they needed some sense of hope. And who shows up? Mackenzie, who was a taxi driver. Now he's become a pastor. And the mother to Betty even offers a plot. But this person changes day by day. And that's why I'm saying serious assessment. Because there's a term we use called comorbidity. You could be many things in one. You could be a criminal. You could have a mental disorder, an existing one. And all mental disorders love money. Go to this Mathari. And if they ask you for money and when you give them 20 bob, 100 bob, they smile. You may think they are okay. And so there are people, once they see money, they have money, they look okay. And there are many things that we also need to understand here. And I'll repeat again, what emptiness do people have when they are seeking help? In such a family where the wife was like sober before, again she joins the husband, there is a condition we call codependency. That if I am sick in the family and there is no intervention, we will all be sick. And so all these followers of Mackenzie were codependent, and it didn't matter whether you're learned or not learned. Was he able to arrest? And some of these things is trial and error. They try and be tough on people, and then they see you following. Then they're like, wow, I can have followers. But you could be following a criminal, you could be following a sociopath, you could be following someone who has an narcissistic disorder, you could also be following someone who has schizophrenia, and not very maybe severe, but this is a mentally ill person. And they have no feelings. They are actually flat in their affect. They don't have any sense of humanity. And that is, I would say, that one is not dying fast, strangle them. Yeah, and many other things also that we might discover that are hidden. And what maybe I pray that this nation will do and the government of Kenya will do is to let the Kenyans know the truth. Nothing but the truth. Why? In mental health, people heal faster when the truth is laid bare. That's what we look for. Even when we sit with people, we tell them, you want to heal faster? Let us just be candid. Let us know everything that happened. And right now, you can see when you're saying, this is horrific. Yeah. Because you're just now covering the story. And even the first person who covered this story and the people who are on the ground, who is also speaking to them. Because there's a likelihood of this nation also getting distorted, maybe thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about the church. So let us also not take everything overboard. But there's also a discovery that has been made about stress, trauma, and burnout. Imagine, here I am a pastor. I am not learned. I am not educated, informed on theology. I don't even have the slightest information or knowledge about human development. I don't even know what it means to have mental disorders or get someone who is severely addicted to alcohol and drugs. Then they come to me expecting I pray for them, I help them. And I can't do it. I'll look for anything to explain what's happening to them. And I guess this is where we are saying even the church will arise and tell us. We also having serious cases of pastors burning out. And there is no difference between a traumatized person and someone who has burnout. At the end of the day, their brain does not function the same way.
Absolutely. Hold that thought. Dr. Ari, let's go to Francis in Mombasa. Francis, if you can hear me, how is your grandson doing?
Oh, my grandson, the survivor?
Yes.
Doing very well. Very, very well, doing very well. But I'm not with him now.
Where is he right now?
He's at a rescue center in Malindi. I was told to take him there because he's one of the major witnesses. So maybe after the case, I'll be able to take him back home. I was very comfortable with him here, very happy.
I heard you've been spending days at the morgue in Malindi. Why?
Come again?
You've been spending days at the mortuary, the morgue. Why?
Oh, I cannot get...
Can you hear me now, Francis? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Your day to day, what have you been spending your days doing?
Oh, okay, thank you. You know, I have not been myself, Jeff, from the time of that incident happened. And I was really very sad, and I'm missing my people. So actually, from the time I reported this issue to the police station, that was on 17th of March, I personally took the initiative of looking for my people. I got some volunteers in Malindi, good people who were with me, and I used to take them there. I used to hire trucks, pay for the fuel. We do the search at night at Shakahola. And in the morning we come back, I just give them meals. So I did that for about 1 week, all in vain. So many times I just take time praying that one day I'll be able to see my people.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
And this man, this preacher, this pastor of theirs, Mackenzie, if he was listening to you right now, what would you tell him?
The Mackenzie one?
Yes.
This pastor, Jeff, I don't know what name I should give him. Whether it's an animal or what kind of an animal, I can't. Because what he has done to my people, what he has done to all the people that have been in that forest, is something that has never been seen before. And again, no matter how many names we're going to give Mackenzie, I think, Jeff, on the other hand, we have to blame ourselves in one way or the other. You know why?
Tell me.
I report the matter on 17th of March. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
I reported the matter on 17th of March. Leave alone, other leaders are saying that it happened just recently, this April. No, I reported the matter on 17th of March. And I expected the authority concerned to move very fast from that time to save lives of many who are dying in the forest. And that time, you know, starving was taking place in phases. The first phase was the children. The second phase was for women. And then the third phase for the men. And on 17th, that now was still the phase of the children. I knew that there was quite a number of children who had lost their lives through the starvation. But after my report, reporting that is I thought now the authorities concerned will come very fast to deal with the case to save lives of many. But it did not happen at all.
Tell me something, Francis.
It did not happen.
You've been going to the Red Cross offices in Malindi?
Yeah.
Yep. The Red Cross has a help center in Malindi. Have you been going there?
Come again?
To the Red Cross office.
Oh, I have not gone there before. I have not gone there.
Oh, okay.
But my people, I've got my relatives who have been there. Even today, because I'm in Mombasa now, there's some things that I'm doing. But there are some relatives in Malindi who normally go there and give in the report of our people. And even today, I've just received a report that some of them have gone there to check whether they are there or not, but they were not found.
What are they telling you? What are they being told?
Oh, they're saying that they've not been seen. Okay?
Mm.
So we have to wait as the search continues.
Mm. Francis, you said you reported this matter on the 17th of March, right?
Yes.
Where? Which police station? To whom?
Pardon? I reported at the nearest police station, that is Langobaya police station, which is the nearest police station to the forest, Shakahola. But most of the time, when you report at Shakahola, cases are normally transferred to the Malindi police station. That's the major police station in the sub-county.
And when you reported it, what did they tell you?
Pardon?
What did they tell you?
Yeah, when I reported, as usual, they told me that they were going to take an action. Okay? So I was waiting for the action to be taken urgently. So I waited 17th, 18th, 19th. Nothing was coming up. So what I did on 19th of April, after moving from one office to another, I've been going even to the human rights offices, going to the politicians' offices, even to individuals for advice. But it was just in vain. So on 19th, I decided to visit 3 offices. And these offices were, are we together?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. I decided to visit the office of the county commander of police, the county commissioner's office, and also the governor's office. I started with the county commander's office. So I was there by 7:30 in the morning. It was very early in the morning. And I was able to see the county commander at around 8:30. Gave me a good reception. We discussed about it. Was very bitter on what was happening. Called the CCIO. Together there we discussed it. They called the DCI Malindi, all that. And I could see that the talk was very tough that time. And she promised me that everything was going to be done well. From there, I went to the county commissioner's office. And I was able to meet Biwot, a very good man. Gave me a nice reception. And I wish the same reception could be given at the police stations, wherever I was going. I explained the matter, and I found that he had not been briefed well. And I explained how everything started. Was bitter too. He called Nairobi Homicide Detective's Office, requested for the pathologists who had not even come, because the bodies of my grandchildren were still in the forest. They had not been exhumed, even after the court had given the order on 23rd of March. Imagine. So the talk was very tough.
Yeah.
And
Francis,
the commissioner told me that things are going to be done. And I said yes. So I went to the governor's office. I was unable to access him. I don't know for what reason anyway.
Yeah,
but
it's a very
Jeff,
detailed story, Francis. Let me ask you real quick. Your grandson, the surviving one, how was he found? Where was he found? The surviving grandson, where was he found? How?
Yeah. He was found at the homestead at Shakahola, being prepared to die.
Who found
That's
him?
why he was, yeah.
Who found him?
Who? Come.
Who found him?
It was found by two of my nephews, the two policemen from Langobaya police station, and a neighbor by the name Humphrey, who is the one who called me, informing me of what was happening there. In fact, that one was a former member of the cult, but he resigned. Yeah.
All right, Francis, stand by. We'll get back to you in a little short while. Rosalind, you're hearing these stories.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What would you tell this man if you saw him today?
Before I see the man, this country, I've seen us saying we have the office of the First Lady. I've seen us having office of the woman rep. Pastor Mackenzie had a spouse. Okay? What was her role? Where is she? Mm-hmm. Where is Mackenzie's wife? What was her role in that church? In any mission, that woman preached to the women of that church. When we see the office of the First Lady, we understand as women, we will get services. We will get services from that particular office. What were the services she was offering to the women? I would want that woman to be brought on this bench. I would want that woman to meet her, woman to woman. We talk with her. I ask her, what is it that you preached to my sister-in-law and her children? Because they were members of your congregation. What is it that you told them? And the question I want to ask even the media, do you know where that woman is? Is there somebody who knows where Mackenzie's wife is? Is there somebody who knows what she is doing and what she is up to? We must not leave any stone unturned in this story. We must make sure she says, she gives her story. Mackenzie had children. How old are they? Were they starved to death? Are they part of the children who were rescued? What were their role in that particular church? Are there any children who have been exhumed who are Mackenzie's children? I would want to know. Has the government, the authorities taken, have they interrogated them? Has any interrogation been done to the wife of Mackenzie and his children? Where is she in this country? We need answers, if not today, yesterday. We need answers. We will not rest. I need my brother's children, 5 children, 3 girls, 2 boys. I need them. I need those children alive. I need them.
Do you think they're going to be alive? Do you think they'll be found alive?
I just need them alive. I don't know if they can be, but I just need them to see them alive. Yes.
Betty Kahindi in Malindi, bado unasikia?
Ndio nakusikia.
Aha. Ulimjua huyo Mackenzie vizuri sana, sio? Alikuwa na bibi na watoto? Have we lost Betty?
Ndio, alikuwa na bibi na watoto.
Watoto wangapi?
Watoto wake ako nao huko. Wa kwanza firstborn wake ndio ako huku Malindi. But hao wengine, wabibi wa kwanza, wabibi wa pili na wabibi wa tatu, wote alienda nao Shakahola.
Alikuwa na bibi wangapi?
alikuwa na bibi wa kwanza akaaga, akaoa bibi wa pili akaaga, then akachukua watatu.
Waliagaje unajua?
Waliaga tu huku Malindi hao wawili.
Waligonjeka ama waliagaje unajua?
Okay, chenye najua bibi wa kwanza aliaga juu alikuwa ana mimba, but ilikuwa inakuwa kwa fallopian tubes juu. Haikuwa mahali kwa sawa. Wa pili aliaga juu walianza historia watoto wasiende shule, so alipofungwa bibi pia kuna wakati alifungwa. So alipokaa huko jela, alipotolewa huyo bibi ndio hakukaa sana, tukasikia ameaga.
Na ukiuona huyu mtu leo
watatu ndio mwenye
kwa vile ulimjua Mackenzie
akaoa bibi watatu. Ndio.
Kwa vile ulimjua huyu Mackenzie kitambo, kama anakusikiza saa hii ungetaka kumwambiaje?
Mimi nataka kumwambia yeye ni muuaji. Ameua watoto ambao hawana hatia, ameua mama zao. He's a monster, yani yeye si mtu, hafai kuishi.
Na dadako na mume wake walikuwa na cheo gani kwa hiyo kanisa?
Dadangu na mume wake aliwafanya assistant pastor. Walikuwa mwanachini wake wakiwa bado Malindi. Akafanya dadangu na shemegi yake wakauza plot, waliuza sehemu ya plot, alafu wakampatia sehemu nyingine yeye bure yenye alijengea mtoto wa bradhake hapo nyumba. Na akaacha mtoto wa bradhake hapo na akachukua sistangu na watoto wake na bwanake, ndio alienda nao Shakahola.
Na hiyo plot waliuza, pesa walipeleka wapi?
Pesa walikuwa wanampatia pasta.
Na waliuza mali yote?
Waliuza hiyo plot, wakabakisha mali walikuwa wamejenga nyumba. Walipokuwa wanataka kuuza, mpaka hiyo nyumba yenye walikuwa wanaishi ndio walikatazwa. Watu wa bwana wakasema hapana, hii nyumba hautaiuza cause wewe uko na watoto wadogo ambao ni vijana na hawajakanyaga shule. Wakati huko mambo yakikoseka, wao watoto wakirudi watakaa wapi? Ndio hiyo nyumba wakaichukua, wakasema haitauzwa. Ndio maana aliacha. But hizo sehemu nyingine ya plot waliuza.
Na kabla wa join hiyo kanisa, dadako na mume wako walikuwa wakifanya kazi gani?
Walikuwa tu hapo assistant pastor. Kuna wakati walikuwa wakihubiri hapo. Saa zingine wanapewa wakati wanahubiri wakati wakiwa Malindi. But hiyo kanisa ilipofungwa walienda huko, ndio sijui ni kazi gani huko walikuwa wanafanya.
Na kabla wa join hiyo kanisa walikuwa wakifanya kazi gani?
Shemegi yangu alikuwa anafanya kilili baharini. Alafu na dadangu alikuwa anauza paints za magari. Alikuwa na duka lake anauza paints za magari. So akawaambia kazi ni dhambi, wachome certificates, shemegi yangu akachoma karatasi za kazi. Alafu akakuja kwa duka la dadangu, akawa anamwambia ukinunua biashara haifai upate profit. Ukinunua bidhaa na hiyo pesa, kama umenunua na pesa kama 200 inafaa uuze na 200. Cause ukipata profit ni dhambi. So ikaendelea tu hivyo, ndugu yangu ikabidi afunge duka.
I hear that. Na, Betty, siku hizi wewe ufanyaje? Maisha yako iko aje, Betty?
Maisha yangu?
Yes. Ya kawaida siku hizi.
Maisha yangu ni mazuri.
Lakini ukiamka asubuhi wewe unaenda kutafuta
wakati sasa tuliposikia kuwa hii story imeanza, kwa kuna watoto waliletwa wamekufa kutoka huko, kila tukiamka naenda kutafuta sistangu.
Na bado hujampata?
Hatujampata, pamoja na watoto wake 6 hatujampata.
Aya, Betty. Rosalind, you're listening to this and I see you shaking your head, huh? Shaking your head.
It's hard, Jeff. It's an agony. How could Mackenzie get an opportunity to give agony to parents in the whole country? How? Surely. And when you hear that children were first priority to die, I feel heartbroken. I feel so bad because honestly, starving a child to death, how long would a 1.5 year take to die if starved? I think it's hours, okay? And my other question is, when did this start? Because it doesn't seem to have started long ago. There is no skeleton that has been found of maybe 5 years in that particular scenario. I don't think there is a skeleton of 5 years, 4, even 3, even 2. At what point did this start? We need the metamorphosis. We need the chronology of events. What started, what may be triggered, and at some point, what followed before the decision of deciding to starve and to get to the extent of now forcing these people to die by force.
Yeah. And Dr. Susan, at the same point that Rosalind is making, the brainwashing of people.
Yeah.
How do you brainwash people to such an extent that they will starve themselves hoping to meet Jesus?
It's possible, like I said, if one is not functioning normally, if there is some interference of some sort. And that is why, for me, if I was the Minister of Education, every child in school should actually be having high level of self-awareness. And every child in school should be equipped with life skills, not teaching theory. When we talk about critical thinking, problem solving, decision making, when we are talking about somebody using their rational thinking, and every child should be protected. Why? Because if anyone gets traumatized as a child, and that trauma is not resolved in one way or the other, they become adults, it will resurface. And if they get to a level they feel so overwhelmed, they will look for anything to hang on. And one of the things that people fall into is religion. And notice there is a difference between having faith in a supernatural being and religion that is indoctrinating. And brainwashing people is easy. You only come up with rules. Mackenzie had rules. And the ones who felt, I cannot put up with these rules, there are people who had their brains in check. The part of the brain we call the thinking brain, the reasoning brain. They're like, my wig, maybe I bought it a lot of money. How do you tell me to remove it? I feel nice in it. Who are you? And they ran away. But those others that I'm saying, they had some sort of imbalance in their lives, in their own minds. They fell for that. Why? Because the part of the brain they use highly is the emotional brain, which now in the church, you will find it is highly active among ladies. And that is why they were second to go. Children mostly don't have that high level of thinking until 11 years, if no traumas have happened in their lives. But now for women, they have the mammalian brain, you know, where it's the seat of nurturing, And when it comes to faith situations, it is the seat of the Holy Spirit, the one that just is subjective. And so you find in many churches, and you'll find in many corn industries, you will find women are the majority. If today you're a pastor and you have this power and you say, I say all of you receive, and there are men there, some men will fall because they want to conform, but they may not. Because again, the women with the mammalian brain, they are very subjective. They believe in things that they have not processed and they have not found facts. Now, if you get a man now who for some reason their brain has been impaired, for whatever reason there may be, they will also behave like that. They will be subjective. So they will follow whatever rules are placed before them, whatever direction, instruction they are given, they will follow. And I am not removing the aspect of criminals here, because if you also go to committee right now, you get very good brains there, very smart brains. If anybody escapes from committee, is a smart person. So we also have those people, but however much they are geniuses, they have that criminal mind in them. And if you follow some of their history, like she's talking about chronology of events, follow the chronology of somebody's developmental stages. You might hear stories when they were maybe very young at home, the things they did, when they were in school. If they left school, why did they leave school? And I'm also not refusing the aspect of what Kenyans today are falling in love with. If you go along the Gigiri road, you will see posters written, Illuminati, and this is the number. Yeah. Call it if you want to get rich. So that person who is taken very fast into some doctrine, some beliefs, they also have a problem. They have some emptiness. And when I am also looking at the church, I'm asking, are you able to bring that person who has come to church to a level of standing on their own and even believing in God without you? Invoking that Holy Spirit you say they can receive without you. Yeah. Because if you also love your child today, Jeff, you want them to stand on their own. You want them to be independent because you don't know how long you're going to be here. If they leave maybe this country and go elsewhere, you want them to stand on their own. So you cannot hold them hostage. If you look at many people that follow one person, one man show, a church of one man show, if not one woman show, that person will also do anything to ensure that you're always dancing at their tune. Because if there are people who swing on power and you bring some rebellion, they will feel they lose power. And most of those people are the ones I'm telling you. They are narcissistic. Yeah. And narcissists don't care whether it is their child, whether it is their wife, whether it's their relatives. What they want, they want. And they don't care whether they're going to step on you. If they now happen to marry with a personality that is choleric, the personality we say is a go-getter, then that person will be so convincing to people. Because as they get aggressive, for you, you'll be picking confidence. You'll be picking high level of faith. So I don't want to leave Rosalind in this state and many others that have been caught in this. One of the reactions in this situation is anger. And anger comes from a perception and belief it is not right. It is not just. And for us to help these families, that's why I've told you, like I don't know who is taking care of Rosalind and her family. I don't know. And it's my prayer. I know I have my people who have been tired for a long time. We have the Kenya Counseling Psychological Association, over 8,000 members in this country. And I want to appeal to them. I know the chairman, Kilifi, was telling me they did Pwani counseling, but the nurses were considered to have done a good job, but they are the ones who did the psychological debriefing and all that. I think this is the time we also need to facilitate. Even the people who are going to rescue and exhume the bodies, who is working with them? Because you might finish with one problem and you get another one. It's sad to hear security officers, people who are trained as police officers, they had also joined the cult. You tell me that kind of a person who is going to believe in this pastor and you already had very good training of killing, finishing someone with over maybe 50 ways. And then you're here being told, do this. Why won't you kill them? So it's, to me, I am praying and saying, and especially when we think of children, because children have a future. And anyone who denies them a chance to see their future, I don't know what name we could actually give that person. And so if there are people who have always been compromised in the ways of seeking justice, this time as Kenyans, let us do at least one thing right. Seek justice for these people. Give them the support that they require. And also give the ones who are doing the job. Because I have happened to work with a few police officers. I have worked in the Baragoi massacre. I am very instrumental, and I say it on camera right now, I am one of the key forces in what you find in the military today, starting with the engineers barrack in Thika. And right now they have very good mental health and wellness programs and centers. And right now they also have their own university. The police have worked a lot with the AP. And I know what happens to them. They're also human beings. You can imagine someone who is going to exhume a body and they can relate maybe with a son they have or a daughter. Don't think they're going to do it easily, even as we work under supervision. Right now, if I am at the center, I should be working with my supervisor because I have to tell them the way I'm feeling. Mindfulness. And Rosary, I would let you always live in the present moment. I'm happy because you're able to express your emotions. Don't deny. And when you feel angry and feel like talking, and I'll pray whoever is around these family members, allow them to be. And living in the present moment is very powerful for the brain, and especially for these people who are affected and the survivors, because the brain is the one we would like to flex. We talk about neuroplasticity, because when the brain is fractured by high levels of stress, then for it to relax and be taken back to shape, you don't need to deny what is going on within you. Right. If you feel angry, label it, pick it where it is in the body, and allow it to be. Once you do that, that mindfulness, living in the present moment, will make you take another day. And if you can, keep breathing. The breath of life. If you have enough oxygen in your brain, it relaxes. We don't want to see people fainting. We don't want to see people developing very serious medical conditions because of what is happening right now in the nation and what is happening to them. And even for men, you can listen to Francis, and you can see how he has struggled for a long, long time. Don't you think he's also tired? He's exhausted. Who is supporting him? And this is not the time to actually point fingers. Because if you listen to each one of these people, and that's why I said in this country, you cannot work apart from psychologists. And we do have forensic psychologists. I know there are few in this nation, but we also have clinical psychologists, counseling psychologists, and our work is closely to what you're doing. The only difference is that you get stories, you get information. For us, we get information and do something to help the client move forward. And so it's a concerted effort right now that we need. And when I told you if there is no psychological first aid given to these people, then we need to kick off with counseling services immediately, if none has already been started. Right. Yeah.
Good point, Doctor. Very good point. And I hope a lot of people are listening to this because we're going to need a lot of help to get over this.
Yeah.
So we get some feedback here. Oh, you want to say something, Rosalind?
Yes, I want to say something.
Real quick, yeah.
Why am I interested in the chronology of events? We are seeing the guy talking about, we are talking about him as a whistleblower. There are people who are against this. And at some point, they escaped. Yeah. There is need for Director of Public Prosecutions, for the authorities, for Honorable Kindiki Kithure to hold a baraza in Malindi and call these people and tell them, we will give you the ICC protection to give us witness. Because a whistleblower is not enough. We need witnesses who were in that church, who they are there, they are ready to speak, but they fear.
What do they fear?
They fear maybe they might be even killed because this is about life. They have families. Who would want his life to be in danger? No one. We like life. We need our life. There are people, I believe so. If the government assures them that, listen, we will ensure we give you total protection. These people will, this case, we will not lose it. But if we stay aside and wait to rely maybe on one person who is maybe a whistleblower, remember he's one. How many years is he going to live? Who knows who is listening to him? Who knows who is targeting him? This is Kenya. Yes.
Absolutely. Francis, let me ask you this. Do you fear for your life since you're the one whistleblower that we know of right now? Are you fearful of your life?
Actually, I cannot tell now because I don't know what is the hearts of many. But mine is just to pray God because He is the only one who knows about all these things.
Are you okay? Are you able to visit your grandchild?
Yep.
Are you able to visit your grandchild?
My grandchild.
Are you able to visit? Are you allowed to visit him?
Yeah, oh, yes. Though I've not yet visited him, but I was told by the person in charge that I can visit him anytime that I wish, which is also good for me, and I'll do it immediately.
Okay. All right, let's get to some feedback now because the signal isn't very good here. Let's see. Thank you, Francis. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's get some feedback here. Bolo Phillips says, best long-term solution for our nation on matters religion is serious regulation and an immediate closure of breakaway suspicious churches. There's still more than meets the eye. This is just the tip of the iceberg or the tip of the rot. Sir Nixon says, I think Article 32 of our Constitution, that's freedom of conscience, religion, belief, and opinion, needs to be reviewed and adjusted accordingly to allow abolishment of such kind of worship. Richie Mwakazi says, this is so sickening. I think there's a gap in matters mental health. So much darkness is looming in our places of worship. Mukuru SPA says, it's painful hearing all these traumatizing stories from Shakahola massacre. As much as Pastor Mackenzie must be held accountable, the chief, the MCA, the MP, former governor, OCS, NIS, and Nyumba Kumi in Shakahola must tell us why this was not out of the radar. And Apiri Mike says, that Francis story on Citizen TV is a true reflection on the laxity of our security organs in dealing with attitudes. Rosalind is shedding light on religious scams in the country. A sad time to be a Kenyan citizen. Okay, it's been very traumatizing, and I'm sure a lot of people are getting a lot of messages of people saying this can't be happening in present-day Kenya, but it is. So, moving on, let's hear from you, Rosalind. Last thoughts, final thoughts going forward.
My final thoughts. The journey ahead is very costly, extremely costly. I have not stepped at Malindi because, one, I fear I don't have upkeep. I don't have communication. I don't have how I will make sure I get to the bottom of this without struggling. So I decided to launch a campaign. 100 shillings. If somebody is somewhere watching and listening, you can send your 100 shillings to 0710 868 564. Just assist me get transport, assist me get upkeep, assist me communicate, because I am the only person that my elderly mother and daddy depends on to tell them where their 5 grandchildren are.
And all you want is 100 shillings?
All I want is 100 shillings.
What's that number again?
0710 868 564.
564, huh?
Yes.
0710 868 564.
Yes.
100 shillings only.
If 10 people can give me 100 shillings, they have given me 1,000.
And that way you will get closure for your family.
Exactly.
That's all you want?
That's all. I need to get closure. If the children are not normal, let my family know. Yes. And I will not get there if I don't get down to the ground to touch on the hard facts.
You will want to go to Shakahola?
Exactly.
Want to go there?
Yes.
Yourself?
Exactly.
All the way to that forest?
Exactly. I want to go there. At least see for myself how it looks like. And also find out, talk to my brother. Also to find out what is the charge in court. What exactly was he charged of? Because I know my brother, he is not a criminal. I know my brother, he can never even pinch a fly. And so I will want to know what exactly was he charged with. Yes. And also get to talk to my sister-in-law who is in hospital, and also try to find out from her, does she know where the children are? At that point, I will say thank you to any other person who will have supported me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Okay. Francis, how about for you? You got about 2 minutes. Some final thoughts going forward.
I'd like to say something about the Citizen TV. Actually, the time I found that there was something going on, something big going on to Shakahola, I thought of something to inform the world about it. And in May, I thought Citizen would even do the best. So I did my best. I got hold of Citizen. I was in Shakahola on 23rd with Francis Mtalaki and Kanga. They did wonderful. Those people are normally, I don't know what I can say to them, because they risked their life. Remember that time, the secretary of Mackenzie were up in arms. They had mapanga, they had the bows and arrows, but we managed to get to the place. And the time we managed that and it was broadcasted, I think the whole country knew what was happening, and we started receiving families from across the country coming down to Malindi, especially those ones who had loved ones in Shakahola. And that was a credit to you people, very good people, good station, and keep it up. So what I'm saying is for the rest of us, we are all working, some of us, let us be very keen on our work. Let us do our work diligently to avoid many things which will not be good in our workstations.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, Francis, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. All the very
thank
best.
You so much.
Dr. Ari, you get the final word.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, maybe what I'd like to say, Jeff, right now, there should be plans, if they're not there already, to offer mental health and psychosocial support. And I have, Rosalind has got me thinking, all the way from Mukuru kwa Ruben. When we had Dusit and many other terrorist attacks we've had in this nation, we have really contributed as Kenyans. But now the bodies that we don't know, how many of them still lie in that Shakahola ground, their relatives, we've been able to see a few of them. Those are also human beings. And I want to preach compassion at this time in this nation, that you see suffering, don't sit there. Do something about it. And let Kenya also know this is common humanity, that we have had such cultic massacres in other places, but now in this country, we know it's come at this form in the name of religion. So that if there is any preacher watching us, if there is any pastor watching us, if there is any leader of any religious sect that is watching us, for the first time, think about yourself. If you become very genuine at this time, do not get burnt out, do not cheat people out of their wealth, and then you decide, how do I now get rid of them? Because they might follow me, and you decide you want to kill them. As much as we are being told we are yet to see things by Pastor Mackenzie, it is important for Kenyans to know that sometimes it takes the bold ones like Francis, like Rosalind, like Betty to save this nation. And maybe I will appeal to the National Counselors and Psychologists Board. I don't know how far they have gone with this. I am not in the board myself. We do have national chairs of different guidance and counseling bodies in this nation. We have KCPA, we have KGCPA, we have one for addiction counseling. We also have Red Cross. I don't know why at this time I am actually not seeing that concerted effort of responding to this Shakahola trauma. I would also let the security know, and I would like our CS to really take care of those men and women who are already at that center. Why? This is huge. We've never had this before. And this is not like what we've thought about terrorist attacks by enemy. Now here it is, this is within us. When Roslyn is telling us about a brother who's never had a fly, I would also like to say, Roslyn, sometimes people do go and change. So at this time, there could be denial of some sort. At this time, there could be numbing. At this time, there could be confusion and a lot of anger in the nation. So I want to tell Kenyans it's okay to breathe in and breathe out. And there is a rhythmic way I like to let people know. You just take deep breath. We say 3-3 square, like you take in, and then you hold. I can hear Roslyn breathing, and then out through your mouth. Why am I saying this? All this is spread all over social media. You're actually opening your phone, and all you see is Shaka Horror, they're calling it. Yeah. You open, and you're seeing stories, you know? We are seeing those children, and we have children at home. And so that is one way of making Kenyans stay relaxed. Just the breath of life that was given to all of us, the rich, the poor, the mentally healed, the mentally unwell, the educated and non-educated. And why is it very critical? Because it relaxes the brain. And once your brain has enough oxygen, you cannot faint in case you're stressed, you cannot have irrational thinking, you can be able to take care of yourself before taking care of another person. And maybe what I would like the government to do, for the first time, let the counselors do their work. When I'm seeing those people going to exhume those bodies without psychological support, when I'm hearing Roslyn here saying, I have not encountered any counselor or any psychologist, I'm asking, is it resources that we don't have? If we don't have, why did we have to really contribute so much money when the Westlands, this side, was hit? Why not right now a forest that has nothing, and the people from Malindi and Kilifi? We need to also arise in a nation and do something. Not just that 100. Can we do something as a nation? Thank you, Jeff. Absolutely.
Dr. Susan Gitau, Roslyn Asena, Francis Wanje, and Betty Kahende, thank you all so much for your contributions. It's incredible. It's amazing, and thank you for shedding light. You know, at least hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel, and we'll get closure. Like Roslyn says, you need closure at the end of this.
Yeah.
Whoa, deep stuff. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Lots and lots of reactions. Thank you so much for your contribution. Keep tweeting.